everyone. I think it's time for us to start our webinar. Pooja, let me have you take over the webinar right now, yeah?
Welcome to today's webinar on pursuing an MBBS degree and popular countries for it. I'm Pooja Shaji, your host for this informative session. I'm delighted to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Omar and Ms. Krishnendu. Mr. Omar is the General Manager for the UAE branch of StudyMore and a trusted partner specializing in MBBS admission in Cyprus. With his extensive experience and personal education journey in Cyprus, Mr. Omar brings invaluable insights into the admission process. Ms. Krishnendu, the head of EduGlider, has been instrumental in helping countless students achieving their academic goals. She will provide an overview of MBBS opportunities in Egypt and Georgia, offering valuable advices on making the right choice for your future. Today's session will cover MBBS program in these countries, including admission requirements, course structure, clinical training opportunities, and unique advantages. We aim to address all of your questions and concerns, whether you are a student or a parent. I encourage you to participate actively in the Q&A session at the end of our presentation. Before we proceed, we are honored to have Mr. Muneer AlWafaa, CEO of AlWafaa Group, inaugurating today's session. His leadership and commitment to education has been pivotal in guiding students towards their dream. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Muneer sir for inaugurating the session.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hope all are fine here and, very hot, sunny day in the UAE. But nevertheless, since it's a Zoom meeting, everyone is looking awesome. Fine. And as a part of our ongoing mission to support the students and the parents to find the right direction and give the right direction and find the right destinations, EduGlider is, moving forward and conducting webinars on every week to give away the right information and the proper guidance in order to secure their admissions in the different universities. We had started in the last week, had a great successful webinar, and this webinar will be recorded and again will be sent to those registered for the webinars, even though they are not available today. And I would like to welcome Mr. Omar, and who has been a part and parcel of this industry since very long time, and Krishnendu, and who has been really instrumental in guiding a lot of students to secure their admissions in the different universities. And I would like to emphasize something that always the right partner in having into this industry is the great thing to happen, because many of the parents are really confused and the students are confused, wherein the students would be, having something in their mind as a passion or as they want to achieve something in life. But at the same time, parents would be focusing on their own dreams where their child has to reach. So there are many mismatches happening in everyday life, which we are witnessing on a daily basis when the students are coming or parents are coming to get, counsel, get to be counseled. So here we emphasize every parent that students' passion is foremost, and what they want to achieve, let them decide. If at all they are not in a position to decide, if at all they are not in a mindset to decide, then it comes to parents' role or teachers' role or someone else who are into this industry. When it comes to these kind of things, you must be always looking up to students' passion and their interest and their digest, plus your budget, plus the future scope of the industry where they are going to be. So I don't want to prolong my speech. I would like to request everyone to attend and be attentive and ask as many questions as possible, because these two people are really experts in their areas, so they will be giving you right answers. And Shanida and Pooja and doing great job, and let's work together for a safer and secure community in order to secure the admissions for these students and parents in the right universities with the right mindset. I would like to declare this webinar has been inaugurated, and all the very best. Over to you, Shani.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the inauguration of the webinar. I hope this is truly a very fruitful webinar for all of us. Pooja, over to you for continuing the webinar.
Thank you, Munisa, for your thoughtful words. Now I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Mr. Omar, who will be sharing their valuable insight with us today. We are honored to have you with us, sir.
Great introduction on Mr. Omar. Over to you, Mr. Omar, for your session for this webinar. We are awaiting your inputs.
Hi,
How are
good
you?
day, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to be one of the speakers in this webinar. To introduce myself, first, I'm a mechanical engineer, Omar Chika, the general manager of Study More in Dubai, in UAE. I will be talking today about MBBS, the difficulties, the problems which face the student, the parents who want to study, who want to decide where to go and where to start this journey with medicine. First of all, studying medicine can be difficult due to a lot of reasons. The first reason might be the high requirement for admission. Most universities, they require a lot of things from the student, like high grade in high school, English proficiency, like IELTS or TOEFL, which most of the students don't have time to achieve right after high school. They want to go directly to university, but they don't have the time for it. For example, the limited seats for medicine can be one of these difficulties, actually. And most of the universities, they require, for example, a recommendation letter from an accredited teacher. They require a motivation letter. They require a lot of things that can be overwhelming for the student or for the parents to achieve before application can be submitted to the university. So this is one of the difficulties that faces the student and the parents. One of the difficulties also can be the expensive tuition they have to pay for the university also, because most of the time studying medicine require a lot of things from the student. They need to buy a lot of research books, a lot of sometimes skeletons, sculpture, a lot of things. So this might be a barrier, for a mid-range families who wants to send their their sons and children and daughters, to the medical school. One other thing is the preparation year or English proficiency exam. As I said before, the preparation year in most of the universities, they require a preparation year in advance and before to go to study medicine. And this preparation year, the student must submit few exams about biology, physics, chemistry, and etc. And the grade of these courses determine if the student is eligible to go and study medicine or maybe study pharmacy or dentistry. So if the goal is to go study medicine, that can be a problem if they don't achieve the required grades in this preparatory year. So also, these kind of criteria decide and may be a difficulty for the student. The student and the parents, in terms of medicine, they also want to go to send their children to a recognized university. Recognized mean not just, okay, I can practice medicine after school, after university. No, recognized mean that I can go everywhere in the world. I can specialize in their universities. I can practice medicine everywhere I go. So this is also a challenging process for everyone who wants to study medicine. Let me talk about the advantages in studying medicine in Northern Cyprus. So why should I go to Northern Cyprus and study medicine there? There's a lot of things to consider. First of thing is the easy acceptance. So if you want to go to study medicine in Northern Cyprus, there are more than one university which is accredited and a member in most of the World Health Organizations, such as Near East University and University of Kyrenia. These two universities are members in the World Health Organization, WHO, and they are also a member in the World Federation of Medicine Education, which is the highest level, which includes most of the best universities in the world. So it decides the principle of the medicine education. And this is very important to consider. Both universities have achieved the high education ministry accreditation in Cyprus and in Turkey also. The highest ranking in the world also is a valued factor. Both universities have their own hospital, own clinics. So they both are offering the students a place to do their practical clinics, in the third and fourth and fifth year and sixth year, of course, because it's a six-year program. So why not Cyprus? In addition to these factors, which is very important, the accreditation, North Cyprus offers these programs in a very moderate tuition fees. For example, study medicine can be between 6,000 euros until 12,000 euros per year. Also, these universities offer prepaid scholarships, which means if you want to study the whole program, you can pay it all in one payment in advance. So it saves about 50% of the total amount of the program. And this is also very, very encouraging to go there because the tuition fees for medicine is very high around the world. One of the reasons why to go to study in Northern Cyprus also is the easy acceptance. You don't need all the requirements I mentioned before. You just need to send a high school certificate with which is in the scientific track, of course. More than 70% is acceptable to study medicine, a passport copy, and a personal copy. Just these three documents are the requirement to apply for the acceptance in these universities, which can consider very easy in comparison with other universities and countries. One of the reasons also, advantages in Northern Cyprus, there is a community of students. There is no racism. This is a peaceful and a loving community there who wants to welcome students from around the world, multicultural students coming from all around the world to go to Cyprus and study there. And both of the universities, and I talked about earlier, which is Near East Universities and University of Kyrenia, they have a very good staff, which are trained and graduated from Europe and from America. Let me talk a little bit about the structure of the programs. Both universities offer the American structure, which means the whole year structure, not a course structure like European programs. Not like courses and credits. It's about the whole year. So the student must study the courses are offered in the 2 semesters, and the student must pass all these courses to pass to the next year. So this program is actually very much better than the other one because it is worldwide recognized and mostly in America and Canada. So this can be a very crucial point for students who wants to do the master's or their PhD in America or in Canada or even in Europe as well, because it is also recognized there. So these are some of the reasons why North Cyprus considered like a destination for studying medicine. So why if the student wants to go there, okay, I need consultation, I need help from an agency and a known agency, okay, to help me submit my application, help me with this other services. Like if when I go there, who will accompany me, who will guide me? I am in a new country. I need to know about this university. Where can I go register? That's why it's very important to choose one of the official agents which work with these universities, such as Study More and Educator, which are our partner in this service. The agency, our agency, provide a full services for the student, starting with consultory and giving every information needed about the university, about living in Cyprus, about going there, if visa required to go there, everything. So second thing is admission to university. We have a special portal with the university. We get a special scholarship because we are an official agency since 10 years. So we can apply for university, get the acceptance, make the payment to the university and everything. We also provide services when the student go there, and the reception at the airport, trying to help him with the accommodation, registering at the university, and etc. So these services are actually very important for the student who want to go abroad and study, and especially medicine, because it requires a lot of things to consider in mind, to set your mind to it, to know where to go, where to start. So maybe this is a small briefing about everything about Mbbs and medicine school in Northern Cyprus. Of course, there's also another thing to consider before going to any country also to study medicine is to check the credibility of these universities, such as the Near East University and University of Cairo. They both are, as I said before, top in their field, offering every possible opportunity to practical and clinical exercises. The both certificates are worldwide recognized, and this is the most important thing, in addition to other advantages such as the tuition fees, which are moderate in comparison with other universities. The country you're going to is very, very nice. The climate there is very moderate, not too hot, not too cold in the winter. The community is very peaceful and loving. So these are the best advantages who can everyone looking for. Also, most of the parents are they're worried when they send their children. Is it safe? Is it safe where I send them? Is it a safe community? Is it a safe country? And that's why Cyprus is one of the admirable destination to go and study medicine, and every other course also beside medicine. But because Cyprus is in the middle Mediterranean Sea, it's an island, the northern part is very peaceful, very welcoming for the student. They're 100% safe society. There's absolutely a very low crime rate there, very low, and especially dealing with the students because they are the main, income for the country. I hope I covered all the points I want to cover regarding Mbbs in Northern Cyprus, and I'm ready to answer any question in this regard. Thank you very much.
Hi, Mr. Omar. Thank you so much for that very insightful session and talk that you've given regarding the medical in Cyprus. There are some particular questions we have received during the webinar and also before us some inquiries. So I just wanted to quickly follow up with those questions with you. So I'll just ask you a few questions and we can go ahead, I think. The first question coming is, are the medical degrees from Cyprus recognized globally? Which international medical bodies recognize Cyprus Mbbs degrees? Can you throw some light on this?
Yes, of course. As I mentioned before, this is one of the main reasons the student must research before deciding which university he wants to go study in. So there are more than 2 universities in Cyprus which offer the medicine program. But not all of them are recommended from our side, because the other universities don't have the Ministry of Higher Education accreditation, which is the main the main accreditation which the student look for, because if it is attested or accredited by the Ministry of Higher Education, it is accredited worldwide. So we don't recommend other universities. That's why I only mentioned Near East University and University of Kyrenia, because both of them have the Ministry of Higher Education accreditation in Cyprus and in Turkey as well. So this is number one. Number two, World Health Organization, which also determine the principle of how medicine should be taught. The other thing is the World Directory of Medicine Schools. The World Directory of Medicine Schools, there's a website. You can go in this website. Maybe I can share my screen to show maybe to the students. Is it possible?
Yes, yes. Let me just quickly give you the access to share the screen. Just give me a moment. I think yeah, you should be able to share it.
Ah,
right
yeah,
now.
okay. This is the website for the World Directory of Medical School. And when you type Cyprus in the country field, you will get all the universities which are accredited worldwide in this particular country. And these are the two universities I mentioned before. This is the Near East University, Faculty of Medicine, and this is the University of Kyrenia, Faculty of Medicine. That's why it is very important to check these points before applying to any of these universities. One of the other world accreditation a student must seek is also the World Federation of Medical Education, which the Near East University and University of Kyrenia both also as well. I think these criteria are very important. That's why I mentioned only these two universities in the region. There are also other universities, they don't have and fulfill all these requirements. So I hope I answered the question properly.
Yes, yes, that is done. So right now we will move on to the next session of the webinar, and towards the end of it, we'll have a final Q&A, to which we will have more questions for Cyprus. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Pooja, over to you for the.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omar, for sharing such a valuable insight about MBBS programs in Cyprus. Your expertise and detailed information have certainly provided our attendees with a clear understanding of the opportunities and advantages of pursuing medical education in Cyprus. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Krishnendu. She is the head of EduGlider and has extensive experience in the field of education counseling and student service. Today, she will be discussing the application process, requirement for international students, as well as scholarship opportunities available for MBBS students. Please join me in welcoming Krishnendu to the webinar. Over to you, Krishnendu.
Thank you so much. All right. I hope everyone can see me. Very good evening to all. Pooja has given a small introduction about myself, but again, I'll give you an introduction about myself again. My name is Krishnendu. I am the head of department at EduGlider. As a student in admission procedures, anything that a student would need to go on with their future from their high school to university life and after, I assist my students in that. So today we'll be talking about, I think, a very common topic that almost everyone, almost all the students who have completed science as their subject or has an interest to go into being a doctor or something related to a medical field would ask. Especially MBBS as a subject, it is, as Omar has said, it is a costly subject to study, and it's also a very long time commitment. You have to study the subject for 6 years, almost five years, and then 1 year of internship. And it tends to be a very pricey subject almost all the time around the globe. But there are specific countries where you can go and study it, and you can make your dream possible. It is not. It's not a reachable dream. It is doable. You can go and study there. And so, again, I'd like to thank Omar for the wonderful session from his side. I hope everyone had a splendid time hearing Omar's session. So I will continue with my sessions where we'll be talking about the most popular countries I think almost everyone has talked about, which is Georgia and Egypt. It is the most common countries when we talk about MBBS as a subject. Everyone talks about Georgia. Georgia is one popular country where everyone has been going, and also Egypt has also come into the forefront in the past few years that has been emerged. So I will share my screen so you can just let me know if you are able to see it. Okay, so the session I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But so why should a student choose Georgia and Egypt? How is it different from other countries around the globe like UK, US, Canada? How is it different? So that's what we'll be checking into. But we'll also be talking about the main uncommon questions like the accreditation, what is the admission procedures, what is the fees, and all the other topics that we'll have to cover. So, all right, as I said, these are the topics that we'll be covering for today. For an overview, how is Georgia and Egypt different from all the other countries around the globe? First of all, it is more popular for medical related courses because these two countries have focused their full academic procedures more on medical related courses because these countries are the countries which have more of hospital based universities and they try to promote it as much as possible. And also, it is a pocket friendly country to go and study because studying for 6 years with a huge amount of fee sometimes tends to be not sometimes almost all the time tends to be a huge problem for students and parents who are planning to put their student for put their child for MBBS or anything related to a medical based subject. So Egypt and Georgia comparatively has become the most pinpoint in those areas where it is affordable to go and study, it is safe, and some of the universities in Egypt also provide scholarships. Georgia, not much, but Egypt does provide scholarships. So the main question that I get asked almost all the time when we tell about Georgia and Egypt is the accreditations and the recognition. As Omar has said about Cyprus, where universities in Cyprus are recognized by the WHO, as is the universities in Georgia and Egypt, where they are recognized by the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, and also by the educational ministries of both the countries. So, respectively, they are receiving the accreditations from the educational ministries available in the country, and also by WHO, which is the main organization. Along with that, they have a global recognition for the foreign medical graduates, where the student will be registered into the Foreign Medical Graduate Commission, and all the students can go abroad and work and also go forward with their postgraduate studies. The next question that I get asked almost all the time is, will my child be able to go back to India and work there, or will my child be able to go back and practice in India? Which in this case, for almost all the universities in Georgia and also all the universities in Egypt, they are accredited by the Indian Medical Council. So you will be able to go back to your home country and you will be able to practice it there as well. Along with that, they also have another accreditation, which is the International Medical Education Directory, where again this more focuses on the students who are planning to go into international countries after their classes their course is over. They can go into more international countries and work there and practice for their post graduation. So why Georgia and Egypt? As I said in the start, accreditation and recognition is one thing that they go for, then the affordability and the quality of education. So both these countries provide a really good and really excellent form of education. The quality is so good that these two countries are the best in like the top most in the world for medical related subjects. So anything related to medicine or MBBS as it is, you can go to these two countries. You can do it for an affordable, affordable cost that is living and also fees. You can study here and then you can go forward with your job in the same country, or you can then go forward and you can fly abroad and you can work there. Also, student-friendly living conditions. Almost all the, almost the percentage of people, the ratio when it comes about almost all of the people in that area of the university will be students who are studying in the university. So you'll be very familiar with your students, your friends, and also your professors, because that is the more or less the ratio in certain places that you're studying. So these are top universities and faculties in Georgia. These are also accredited and also the top best in the respective countries. For example, in Georgia, TSMU, DTMU, University of Georgia, and Ely State University is the most popular when it comes to Georgia as it is. Egypt, Cairo University, Al-Shams, Alexandria, and Masura is the more popular one for MBBS as it is. And some of the courses in Georgia do also provide US doctor course, which is different from the usual course which is taught in Georgia, which is the Euro MD, which is a European doctor course. So some of the universities in Georgia also provide that, and Egypt provides a more of international MBBS structure. So the next procedure that we have to or the next topic that we should talk about is the admission procedures for both the countries. We all think there's a lot of questions that have come up to me while I was doing admission, where they've asked me, is the process for Egypt different or difficult than Georgia, or is Georgia's process difficult than Egypt? These two questions have come to me um, almost common. This is the common question that I get almost all the time. So the admission procedures that the university will be asking is a high school completion with subjects in biology, chemistry, physics. Some universities do ask for math also, but it's not required. If you do not have a math, they might tell you to do like a foundation in the university itself along with your course. Then it is not required, but some of the universities just ask it. Then the minimum age requirement, most of the universities in Georgia and Egypt does let you have a gap year of 1 to 2 years, where you can, even if you have missed 2 years or taken a gap, you can come back to the university and you can start from bachelor's. They do allow that. Then entrance exam and language proficiency. Some universities in Egypt does have entrance examination, but if you are an international student, they do have the opportunity for you to do it online and virtually. It is not a problem. Language proficiency also, some of the universities does ask it in both countries, but it also depends on how your grades are. If your grades are above, let's say around 70%, then they don't require you to write the IELTS examination. For Georgia, NEET is required for almost all the universities. If you're talking about the top popular universities, NEET is required, and some of them do ask for IELTS. And in Egypt, it is not really required, but it is good if you have the NEET examination, but it is not really required. Many of the top, as I said, in Georgia, it's also many of the top universities in Egypt do ask the student to have a NEET exam. If they've completed the NEET exam, they have an easier chance of getting into the university. So the next question I have to come in, which is the most common again, which is the fees and the other living costs. How much is it, and how much will it come per month? So in Georgia, the fees ranges from 5,000 to 13,000 per year, depending on the university. As I said before, Georgia does not provide, most of the universities in Georgia does not provide scholarships. If they do provide, it is a tad bit difficult because their procedure will be a bit more different than the usual admission process. In Egypt, it is from 6,000 to 8,000 per year. This is common for almost all the universities in Egypt. So the range will be between 6,000 to 8,000. And many of the universities in Egypt also do provide scholarships. So you can apply for scholarships when you are applying to a university in Egypt. So these universities that have on-campus hostels, and they also have their private rentals and shared apartments. Private rentals and shared apartments will be able, if you're saying that you do not want to stay in the on-campus hostels, there is an option for you to choose through the university itself. You can choose a private rental or any shared apartment with your friends in university, whoever is studying with you. That is possible. So cost of living in both the countries, as I said, since it's a very affordable countries to study in. Usually the monthly fee, like the monthly cost of living, which is the food, the transport, the rent for the the apartment that you'll be staying in or the hostel. Altogether, it is around 200 to around 200 to $500 per month, depending on which university you'll be going to, depending on the place that you'll be staying and where the university is located. The cost of living can change. So it is subjected to change along with the places that you stay in. Then your post-graduation opportunities. So the residency and internship opportunities in Georgia is typically, so the courses is typically 6 years, which is which is 5+1, 5 years of studies and 1 year of internship. That's how they do it in Georgia. While in Egypt, they start their preclinical and clinical phases by the third or fourth year, where the students can usually go in for observation duty, and then they can gradually start helping the doctors and the professors that they are under. Then licensing exams and requirements to practice medicine. So most of the countries, for example, in Georgia, the syllabus that is followed is the Euro Doctor syllabus, which is the European doctorate syllabus. That's what they follow. There are some universities which does provide US Doctor, which is USMD, which is the US-based syllabus for doctorate. That is it is different. So you can go to the respective countries and you can work there. Also, with that degree, you can go abroad to any country and you can work there as well. In Egypt, it's more of an international base, more of there is a mix. So you might have USMD, you might have EuroMD, depending on the university and how their comfortability is. So if you're planning to come back to India, you can write a licensing exam in India and then you can further go into your practice. And opportunities for higher education and specialization. Again, it is open to the people who have studied in Georgia and Egypt. It is a question that has come to me. If I have studied in Egypt, can I go abroad for my further specialization? Yes, it is possible. You can go. It is there's a higher chance that you might get accepted because Egypt way of learning and Egypt's way of teaching is very clean and cut. Georgia also it is, but more of the people who have studied in Egypt has a very easier path to come to Middle Eastern countries. For example, a student who has studied in Egypt can come to Dubai and work here because they prefer students who had a similar syllabus taught to them. So that is available for them. So this is all for the session from my side. I hope everything that I think I've covered almost all the topics that needs to be covered. So if there is any questions, I think you guys, students can ask me and I will be able to answer.
Thank you so much, Krishnendu, for that very detailed session on Georgia. I think we will be moving on to our Q&A session. So we have received some Q&As. And to all the participants over here, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put it on the Q&A panel and we'll be taking that up. So the first question that has come is for Cyprus and Georgia, both equally, I would say. The question is, what are the main scholarships or financial available for international students? Does this depend and does this vary on the basis of the nationality of said student? So I think we'll go with Cyprus first. Mr. Omar, if you could clarify a bit on how that works in Cyprus.
Yes, hi again. I will answer without the video, so I don't change the host now.
Yeah,
It's okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So the scholarship depends on availability of the scholarship and the first who apply for it. First come, first serve. It's
Okay.
how it's done because the availability and the seat are limited. So for medical school, there are only one kind of scholarship, which is the prepaid scholarship. So the student can pay one-time payment in advance to study the whole program, and it will save about 50% of the total amount paid yearly or per semester. For Kyrenia, the yearly tuition fees, it's about 7,600 euros per year. And for Near East University, it's about 11,800 euros per year. But the scholarship in combined, they save about 50%, but they must be paid in advance. That's the only kind of scholarship for these two universities.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Krishnendu, any insights on this regarding Georgia?
So, as I mentioned, for Georgia, scholarship options are very rare. There is only a couple of universities that do provide scholarship, and they might be a bit difficult to get into. For example, Near East University in Georgia does provide scholarships, also does Ila State University. These two universities are the only universities in Georgia that are providing scholarships. So their procedure for application will be a bit more difficult, but it is you can get into the university, but the process will may take a bit of time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So this next question is for Georgia again. Are there pathways to residency or citizenship for students who complete their MBBS in Georgia? I mean, I think people want to continue working there. So what is the possibilities in that? I think Mr. Omar can also answer this in terms of Cyprus, but first let's go ahead with Georgia.
So it is possible for you to get a PR in Georgia. So once you are done, so the PR limitation for Georgia is 10 years. So if you've been in the country for 10 years, you can get the PR that is available. For I'm telling about the permanent residency, but you can work in Georgia once your internship is over. The hospital that you're working with will employ you on on a contract. So that usually happens where students who have gone to Georgia to study, they stay there, they complete almost 3 to 4 years of their working and experience, and they try to go abroad from there. So it is available. You can do it in Georgia. You can get a PR. You can work in Georgia.
All right. Omar, any inputs on terms of Cyprus on this?
Yes, of course. Okay. When a student go to Cyprus, they will obtain a student residency. So with the student residency, they don't count these years for permanent residence or for a nationality. The student must, after finishing his studying, apply for work. Okay, they can work for the university itself, university hospital, or any of the hospitals in the country. This is regarding medicine. Any other program is also eligible in this regard. So after finishing university, they will apply for worker residency. In this kind of residency, they will pay taxes for the state. So the year the student pay taxes, they the nationality of the country. In these years, in which the worker paid taxes in, not the studying years.
All right. All right. All right. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So one question coming up is I think common again. It's is health insurance everything included in the student visa that has been taken up? And how far does the scope of that go? Because there are some students who are kind of worried about that situation if they were to fall ill or something like that. So how far does the living standards for that matter?
So the health insurance is provided to the student. You can choose. So along with the visa and the documentation, the student has the opportunity to choose which form of insurance that they want. They can either have like an emergency medical insurance, where the student can just use the insurance for medical purposes in emergency. And then there is another form where it's the full package, where they have to pay a bit more for the insurance, but then they'll be covered on a total basis. The same goes for Egypt also. The insurance is provided for the student during the visa procedure time. Omar?
Yes, so it is almost the same in Cyprus. The students in every semester pays registration fees. So, and these registration fees included a health insurance, social activity, transportation, because transportation is also free in Cyprus. The students pay it in advance in their registration fees, all included The student has a health insurance which can be used in all public hospitals and clinics. So it is already covered inside the registration fees.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Krishnendu and Omar, for your valuable insights. I think so far we have covered all the question and answer sessions. Again, asking the participants that if there are any question and answers, please put it on the question and answer session. Yeah. Seems like we're done with everything. Thank you so much, Krishnendu, and thank you so much, Mr. Omar, for your valuable information. I think the presentation that the both of you did were adequate enough for everyone to get the most information out of it. So thank you so much again. We are also done with the question and answer session. So I'm just handing it over to Ms. Pooja.
Thank you, everyone. As we conclude today's insightful webinar on MBBS program in Egypt, Cyprus, and Georgia, I want to thank you all for joining us. Special thanks to our esteemed guests, Mr. Omar and Ms. Krishnendu. Mr. Omar, your expertise on MBBS admission in Cyprus has been incredibly valuable. Ms. Krishnendu, your comprehensive overview and dedication to guiding students are truly appreciated. I also want to thank Mr. Muneer for inaugurating our session today. I want to acknowledge our technical team and organizer for their hard work behind the scene. Stay connected with Eduglator for more resources and support. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you once again, and we wish you all the best in your future studies and career aspiration. Have a great evening.
Well done, Shanida. You have been so impressive throughout the session and taking care of the entire hosting session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. We have a series of webinars coming up. We will be sending you the invites for all of those, and hopefully we'll meet you next time, next week. Thank you so much, everyone.